Crash Bandicoot is a 1996 3D platformer game for the PlayStation 1. Now, in 1996, I was rocking the Nintendo 64, and so aside from brief interactions with it at friends' houses, I've neither played Crash Bandicoot before, nor have I played that many classic PlayStation games. And so, having not really played it but being fully aware of the game's legendary status, when I saw that not only it, but Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3 were being remastered and released on the Xbox One, you can bet your buns it went quickly to the top of my wishlist. And so, this is a review of the first Crash Bandicoot from the Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy, which came out in 2018 for the Xbox One, 2017 if you're on the PlayStation 4, and is, I suppose, considering my complete lack of exposure to the game, a nostalgia-free look at the game, which aims to not compare it to the original of which it's a remaster of, as I know little to nothing about said original. And so Crash Bandicoot. It's a platformer game, which is not quite a 2D platformer game, but also not quite a 3D platformer game. It essentially changes between levels in which either you're moving away from or towards the screen, or more traditional side-scrolling levels usually reserved for 2D platformers, but in both of these level types you still have available to you a full 3D range of motion. Now, this isn't the first game I've played that is somewhat halfway between the two genres of platformers 2D and 3D, but it is one of the few I've seen do it quite so well. The controls are really tight. At no point even in the 2D platforming did I ever find myself falling to my death because I misjudged depth perception, which is a constant challenge of 2D side-scrollers that allow you 3D range of motion, but it never became a problem while playing Crash Bandicoot. The difficulty curve of the game is really good. I found myself getting stuck on some levels for a pretty long time, but since the game is basically all about timing, once you've gotten through a level, you can pretty much do it again without too much difficulty, which is cool as once you do get through it, it unlocks a time trial version of the level, giving the game some good old-fashioned arcade replayability. The only exception to this were the boss battles, which I found far too easy, especially after some of the difficult levels you encounter, and even the final boss battle against Neo Cortex was really a breeze. In the graphics and or visual department, the entire game looks absolutely stunning. It's all bright and vibrant, and really quite cartoony, with every single level having something cool to look at. My favourite part of the game is probably the Indiana Jones level where you're running away from the boulder, because not only is it a total adrenaline rush, but also the facial expressions of Crash Bandicoot as he runs towards you in terror is really rather funny. He goes full Looney Tunes on you. The only few shortfalls of the graphics were that when you get electrocuted, your ribs seem to actually be bigger than your body, which is not how it works, and I thought the skinny scientists looked like they weren't in the right game, and also when you get hit by one of the bosses, rather than having a death animation, your character just disappears. But these were 3 very small visual errors in an otherwise beautiful game. The plot of the game is also somewhat lackluster. You play as Crash Bandicoot, who is a genetically enhanced Bandicoot that is created by Dr. Neo Cortex, who intends to use you as one of his generals in order to take over the world, but it doesn't work and instead you jump out of a window and wash ashore, but Neo Cortex seems to still have your presumably girlfriend, and so you have to make your way all the way back in order to kill Dr. Neo Cortex and rescue your presumed girlfriend. I say presumed because it's never actually stated that you want to kill Dr. Neo Cortex, or that you're actually actively going back to his place, or that you have any real connection with a female Bandicoot, but I assume that's what's going on. And fortunately, it doesn't really need to have a great storyline, because it's an arcade-style platformer, and all you really need to know to enjoy it is that you're a Bandicoot who crashes through things and you're making your way towards the end of the level. Overall, it's a pretty tight game, with everything from the controls to the graphics being extremely polished. There was, throughout my entire playthrough of the game, only one glitch I encountered, which was in the form of some terrible hit detection in the final boss battle, but I was able to prevail despite this, as it didn't come up too often. And so Crash Bandicoot Enhanced for the Sane Trilogy. It's pretty darn good, it holds up extremely well, and it's a great deal of fun. The game also has a lot of replayability, everything from time trials to perfecting levels and unlocking new paths, but I personally am looking more forward to playing the next game in the trilogy, which is good because it comes on the same disc. And so, with all of that said and done, thanks for watching, and until next time, I have been and still am Grim Grindle. If you would like to join me on social media, a link to my Twitter is in the description below, and also provided is a link to the channel Grim and Grin Discord, the Echo Chamber. And finally, if you're someone who did used to play the old Crash Bandicoot back in the day, I would love to hear in the comments below how faithful this remastered version of the game is, as I personally have truly no idea.